My 24F boyfriend 28M told me to get a paternity test when I told him I was pregnant. I've been in a relationship with Nico for 3 years now, and we were discussing plans to move in together later this year and becoming engaged by next year. We were always very open and communicative when it came to our relationship and never had any big problems besides the petty argument here and there. I found out I was pregnant about a week ago and was super scared because my career is just taking off now and I'm not emotionally or financially ready to have a baby. I told Nico the day after I found out, since I was meeting him in person. I never thought he would be ecstatic or anything about the pregnancy, however he just looked at me and asked me to get a paternity test. I was shocked and hurt that he would suggest I was sleeping with anyone else. It grew into a huge fight where I asked him why he didn't trust me to even ask me that. He said he did trust me and didn't think I was a cheater, but he was not ready for a kid, and if there's a chance that it's not his kid he wanted to be sure because he was not taking care of it if it's not his. This logic doesn't make any sense to me though, because if he trusted me, then why is there any doubt that the kid isn't his? I went to him to see what we can do together and get over it together, but instead I feel like I was just slapped. I'm not even sure if I want to be with him anymore due to this. 3 years together and this is what he thinks of me. Also, throughout the week I've been having second thoughts on aborting the baby as well. I'm so scared I'll regret it later and miss my baby, but Nico keeps insisting on the test first before conversations about it since he's not sure if it's his yet. These are two different topics. 1. Do you want to keep the baby? That's your decision. 2. Do you want Nico to be part of your life? The fact that he would immediately question paternity makes me think he's looking to bolt. Do you want that uncertainty and unreliability in your life? Personally, I would terminate the pregnancy and end the relationship. Children should be planned because happy little accidents generally turn into horrible relationships you can't leave with partners who make terrible parents. Nico keeps insisting on the test first before conversations about it since he's not sure if it's his yet. That's not the language of someone who trusts you. Whatever decision you make is yours, but staying with someone this untrusting and this disrespectful sounds exhausting. There's no fight to be had. Either he thinks you cheated on him or he doesn't, end of story. If he doesn't, then no paternity test needed. If he does, he should leave you, you'll get a paternity test, and he can pay child support from afar, or you can abort, if that's the decision you make. This honestly seems like the sort of bullshit he'd come up with if he's looking for an excuse to end the relationship. I mean, regardless of what you might feel, paternity tests should probably still be normalized anyways, because why the fuck not? It's just more information and assurance. Edited a letter. To be honest, knowing it's 100% his, I'd probably get the test just to rub that in his face, win the argument. Then you can make the decision as to whether you want to keep the boyfriend and the baby separately. They're your choices, but you've got rid of this hurdle he's created of insisting on the test. Also, if you decide to keep the baby, the paternity is proven and he'll have to pay up. You have nothing to hide, so get the test. Lots of men blindly trust their partners just to find out years later the kid isn't theirs. It's not about whether he trusts you or not. Women have the luxury of knowing 100% their kid is theirs while men do not. If you know it's his, then just do it. If I'm going to be on the hook, financially, for 18 years, I want to know it's mine. I think it should be mandatory. A paternity test is the most normal thing to ask for. Keeping trust as hostage as a basis to deny a paternity test is the shittiest thing there is. If you have been faithful and there is no doubt of him being the father, just take the test and give your partner peace of mind in this situation that can change his whole life. And by the way, trust is not a black and white thing but a spectrum. He maybe trusts you 99% of the way, but 1% doubt is enough to be unbearable in case of a pregnancy. Nobody trusts anyone 100%. Just get the test anyways. You know you haven't fucked anyone else, so just get it, show him he's the father, and decide if you want to ditch him or not. You can get an abortion or not, it's what you want. Don't get the abortion first, because that'll just make it seem like it wasn't his kid. You know for a fact that the child is yours because it is growing inside of you. There is a test that exists that can confirm that the child is his as well. Why should you deny him that same security? Some people lie, and regardless of how good of a person you are, the thought that you might be lying is now in his head. It's not fair to you, but it's a burden that we all have to live with. Instead of just doing the test to ease his insecurity, you're fighting it. Can you not see how suspicious that looks? Putting 100% faith in people is how you get hurt. TBH, I don't think this situation is recoverable. Your ideas of trust are fundamentally different and you will not be able to move forward if the best argument you have is, "You should trust me." Well, that sounds like a breakup and abortion to me. More time to spend on your career. He obviously doesn't trust you. If he did, he wouldn't think that you might have cheated. Can you be in a relationship with someone who thinks about you that way? As for having the baby versus getting the abortion, it sounds to me like your heart is telling you to have the baby. Your decision should be your own, not his. Don't make a choice you will regret for the sake of someone else who thinks so little of you, and do get the paternity test, but do it so he will be on the hook for child support. His reaction sounds more like he was just shocked and scared about having an unplanned child. His escape hatch is the baby not being his. He knows you get to make the decision about whether to keep the baby or not, so he's pressuring you for a test, rather than an abortion. He's an immature 28-year-old. Whether you decide to reconcile with him after you make your decision about the baby is up to you, but I don't think his reaction is about trust, it's about fear and lack of control. Dump him. Before he even gets to the taking care of a baby part, there's 9 months of taking care of you, which he also seems uninterested in. Plus, even if it isn't his baby, taking care of it would be taking care of you, by extension. That's a shitty stance to have even if it wasn't his. But the fact he thought it wouldn't be his to begin with is also a huge red flag. At this point, I unfortunately think you might be cornered into getting a test, because refusing to just raises suspicion. If it were me, I'd get the test, prove it's his, and then dump his ass anyways. Yikes. You sound completely unready and unprepared to have a baby. You probably shouldn't. If he trusted me, then why is there any doubt that the kid isn't his? Because he might be wrong. He knows he might be wrong, and if he is wrong, it's his future for the next 20+ years purely and your say-so. Having a child is a life-changing event. Women know their children are theirs. Men don't. He needs to apologize. But it is pretty easy to see that his worst nightmare is that the child is not his. Or that he later finds out that it is not his. So get the test, and demand his apology. He needs to treat you better. Tell him not to worry, he'll see the paternity results in court when the judge tells him to pay support. This hardship is over. He doesn't trust you. He doesn't want a kid. It's up to you now to decide what you're going to do. Either way, it's over, but whatever you do, don't have an abortion in the hope you will keep him. You will eventually resent his mistrust of you. You shouldn't really have a baby, it's not fair to them. Whatever you do with the baby is your choice. His opinion in this is irrelevant with the pregnancy. In terms of him not trusting you, it is a red flag. I understand that looking for paternity is pragmatic, but only for a one-night stands or someone with a cheating history. I assume you are none of those things. The core of every relationship is trust, and it is clear he doesn't trust you. Honestly, you can do what you want. I would ask the same of my significant other, because it's not about you two anymore, it's about the baby. If he feels he won't connect with the baby unless he knows the baby is his, then give to him the test and start talking about co-parenting if you can't handle his trust issues. There's so many cases of fraud when it comes to this that a lot of men have PTSD when it comes to this subject. It's your body, but to abort the baby because he wants a test seems more emotional over his issue than the baby. Take some time to yourself, think about what you really want and go from there. Your boyfriend is an asshole. If you're having doubts about staying with him or not, I suggest you listen to your gut. He's scared. I would ignore this comment and figure out whether you want to keep this child or not. If so, I would make my own plan that does not include him and carry on as usual. You can also do a paternity test while the baby is stop in utero. TBH, from a mom's perspective today, he's just being prudent. You can read on these boards and see any man not getting a paternity check is foolhardy. Get an abortion or put it up for adoption if you can. And break up with him. The baby deserves a stable life, and a good father. You always know who the mother is. Fathers do not have that luxury without a test. Blind faith has led many men down a path that none want to take. Don't get mad for someone approaching something as life-changing as this with their wits. He clearly does not want this baby and wants you to get an abortion. There's no excuses for his behavior, but since this is not normal behavior for him, it might be he's either in shock or literally scared shitless with this news. Is he the kind of guy that will do the right thing, in his mind, and marry you because he got you pregnant? Paternity test before decide having the baby. This guy knows that you can't do it in the beginning of the pregnancy. Isn't safe to do before the baby is born. You will have the baby alone or don't have at all. He has no respect and responsibility. Same thing happened to a man named Joseph and his wife Mary. Turns out Joseph was right and the child wasn't his. That child went on to become Jesus. They do say history repeats itself. Just want to say, my now ex begged and screamed for me to abort. I didn't. Now he has expressed his gratitude multiple times, through tears, that I didn't listen to him. He's such a wonderful father and our daughter is a major daddy's girl. He came around at the 11th hour so it was a shitty pregnancy, and we didn't stay together, but my daughter's life was spared and she is so happy to be here.